He dropped out of college. His mom thought he was wasting his life, and he spent years making videos that almost nobody watched. Today, he is worth over $2 billion and has given more money away than most people will ever earn in their entire lives. Okay, so that story we just teased, that is exactly what we are talking about today. And trust me, even if you already know who this person is, you probably do not know the full picture.
Right, and the reason we love this story for the podcast is not just because it is exciting. It is because it is a story about someone who kept going, even when things were really hard. And I think that is something every English learner can relate to.
100%. Because learning a language is not easy either. I'm learning Spanish right now, and some days I feel like I am making zero progress. Zero.
Same with me in French. Some days I sit down to study and I just think, why am I doing this? But then you hear a story like this one and it kind of resets everything.
It really does. Okay, so let us get into it. Alex, do you want to set the scene for our listeners?
Sure. So today we are talking about a man named Jimmy Donaldson. You probably know him by his online name, MrBeast. And if you have ever been on YouTube, you have almost certainly seen one of his videos, even if you did not know it was him.
His videos are everywhere. I remember the first time I saw one. I was just scrolling and suddenly I see this guy handing a random stranger $100,000. And I thought, is this real? Is this a joke?
That is a very normal reaction. A lot of people have that reaction. And the answer is yes, it is real. What he does is genuinely real.
So who is MrBeast exactly? Let's start from the very beginning. Where did this guy come from?
So Jimmy Donaldson was born on May 7th, 1998 in Wichita, Kansas. That's a city in the middle of the United States. But he did not grow up there. His family moved around a lot when he was young, and he eventually grew up in Greenville, North Carolina.
And Greenville is not a huge city. It's actually a pretty small place. So this is not someone who grew up in New York or Los Angeles with big connections and lots of opportunities. He was just a regular kid in a regular town.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that makes his story so interesting. He did not have some big advantage at the start. He just had a computer and a YouTube account.
Okay, so when did he start making videos?
He started in 2012. He was only 13 years old. His first YouTube name was MrBeast 6000. And I love that name because it is so very 13-year-old. You know, like very dramatic.
MrBeast 6000. I love it. What kind of videos was he making back then?
His early videos were really different from what he makes now. He made Let's Play videos. That means videos where you record yourself playing video games and talking at the same time. He also made videos where he guessed how much money other YouTubers were making.
So basically, he was just a teenager making YouTube videos in his bedroom. Nothing too special yet.
Right. And for a long time, almost nobody was watching. He would post a video and maybe get a few hundred views, sometimes less. Most people would give up, and honestly, most people do give up.
But he did not.
He did not. And this is the part I find really fascinating. During those years when nobody was watching, Jimmy was not just making videos, he was studying. He was reading about how YouTube works. He was watching other successful YouTubers and trying to understand what made their videos work. He was obsessed with getting better.
He was doing the work even when there was no reward yet. That is really hard to do.
It is so hard. And I think about this when I'm studying French. Some days I practice for an hour and I still feel like I cannot say a sentence correctly. But you have to keep going. Jimmy kept going for years before anything big happened.
So when did things change for him? What was the turning point?
The turning point came in 2017. He posted a video called I Counted to 100,000. And the title is exactly what it sounds like. He sat in front of a camera and counted out loud from 1 to 100,000. That is 100,000 numbers.
Wait, he just counted? Out loud?
Out loud, on camera. The video is over 40 hours long.
That is one of the most insane things I have ever heard. Why did he do that?
Honestly, the idea started as a joke, but he saw it as a challenge and he finished it. And something about that video caught people's attention. It went viral. Tens of thousands of people watched it within just a few days. And after that, everything started to move very fast.
So, a 40-hour video of a teenager counting numbers is what launched his career? I love the internet.
It is a strange place. But here's the thing. After that video, Jimmy understood something important. He understood that if he did something extreme, something nobody else would do, people would pay attention. And he started making bigger and bigger videos.
And when we say bigger, we mean much bigger. Tell our listeners what his videos started to look like.
So his videos became these huge productions. Things like I Buried Myself Alive for 24 Hours, or Last to Leave a Circle Wins $500,000, or I Spent 50 Hours in Solitary Confinement. These are massive challenges with huge amounts of money on the line.
And a huge amount of money going to real people. That is what separates him from a lot of other creators. He doesn't just spend money on himself, he gives it away.
Right. One of his most famous types of videos is where he just goes up to a random person and gives them a life-changing amount of money, like buying a stranger's groceries and then handing them $100,000, or paying off someone's entire student loan debt.
Student loan debt, by the way, is money that people in America owe after going to college. It's a huge problem for a lot of Americans. So when MrBeast pays that off for someone, it's genuinely changing their life.
And he's done that kind of thing over and over again. This is not a one-time thing. Giving money away is basically a core part of what he does.
Okay, let us talk about his big charity projects, because this is where things get really impressive.
Yes, so beyond his regular videos, MrBeast has organized some of the biggest online fundraising campaigns ever. The first big one was called Team Trees. He co-founded that in 2019, which means he helped start it with other people.
And what was Team Trees?
The idea was simple. For every $1 donated, one tree gets planted. And the goal was to plant 20 million trees. They raised over $24 million. So over 24 million trees were planted because of that campaign.
That is hard to even picture. 24 million trees.
It is. And then he did it again with an ocean-focused campaign called Team Seas. This time, the goal was to remove trash from the ocean. They raised over $30 million.
$30 million to clean the ocean. And then, in 2025, there was a third one.
Yes, in 2025, he co-founded Team Water, which raised over $40 million for WaterAid, an organization that helps people get access to clean drinking water.
So in total, we're talking about almost $100 million raised for environmental and humanitarian causes through YouTube, through a guy who started by counting to 100,000 in his bedroom.
That is the full arc of the story right there.
Okay, let us talk about his businesses too, because he's not just a YouTuber anymore. He's built a whole empire.
Right, so Jimmy created a company called Beast Industries, and under that company he has launched several brands. One of the most well-known is Feastables, which is a chocolate and snack brand. He also started MrBeast Burger, which is a food brand.
And he created a reality TV show called Beast Games, which, for our listeners who don't know, a reality TV show is a show where real people, not actors, compete against each other in challenges, kind of like what he does on YouTube, but on a bigger scale.
Exactly. And in terms of his YouTube numbers, they are just staggering. His main channel now has over 468 million subscribers. That makes it the single most subscribed channel on all of YouTube in the entire world.
And Forbes, which is a very well-known business magazine, ranked him #1 on its list of highest-paid YouTube creators in 2024.
His net worth, which means how much he's worth in total, was estimated by Fortune magazine at around $2.6 billion in 2026.
$2.6 billion, with a B.
With a B, from counting to 100,000.
Okay, I want to zoom out for a second and talk about what this story actually means, because I think there's something really important here for our listeners.
Yes, please, let's do that.
When I think about MrBeast's story, the word that keeps coming to my mind is persistence. And persistence means you keep trying even when things are not working. He made videos for 5 years before he got famous. 5 years. Most people quit after 5 months, some after 5 weeks.
And he was not just waiting around during those 5 years. He was learning. He was getting better. He was failing and studying why he failed and then trying again. That process, that loop of trying and learning is what eventually worked.
And as someone who is learning Spanish right now, I feel that. I really do. Some days I try to speak Spanish and it is embarrassing. I say the wrong word, I get the grammar wrong, I forget vocabulary I studied the day before.
Same with French. The other day I tried to order coffee in French and I said something completely wrong and the person just looked at me and switched to English immediately.
That has happened to me so many times. But here's the thing. MrBeast's early videos were bad, really bad. He has said this himself. His first videos were not good, but he posted them anyway, and he kept going.
And I think that is the message for our listeners today. If you are learning English and you feel embarrassed because your English is not perfect yet, that is okay. It is more than okay. That is exactly where you're supposed to be right now.
Every single person who speaks English well today was once at the stage you are at right now. Every single one, including us when we were younger and learning to read and write properly.
And the only way to get better is to keep going. Listen to podcasts like this one, try to speak, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and then try again.
Exactly. You do not have to count to 100,000, but you do have to show up consistently and keep practicing.
That is such a good way to put it.
Okay, let's wrap up. Alex, if you had to sum up the MrBeast story in 3 words, what would they be?
3 words. Okay. Persistence, creativity, and generosity. Because everything he has done comes back to those 3 things. He never stopped, he found a creative way to stand out, and he used his success to help other people.
I love that. And for our listeners, the 3 words I would give you for your English learning journey are patience, practice, and pride. Be patient with yourself. Practice every single day, even for just 10 minutes, and be proud of every small step forward, because every step counts.
That is beautiful, Emma.
I have my moments.
You do. Okay, so that is our episode for today. We talked about the full story of MrBeast, from a 13-year-old kid in North Carolina to a billionaire philanthropist with the most subscribed YouTube channel on Earth.
And we hope his story gave you something to think about today. Not just about YouTube or money, but about what is possible when you commit to something and do not give up.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who is also learning English. The best way to help this podcast grow is to tell a friend.
And if you have a topic you want us to talk about on a future episode, reach out and let us know. We want to talk about things that matter to you.
Keep practicing, keep listening, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye for now, everyone. You're doing great.